want to go back to bed. I slept well. I didn't sleep adequately. But I want to go back to bed. Because bed is warm and cozy. And that would be a good place to be. Right? I have no idea if this is working. I really don't. Let's see if we can check. Can we check? Can we check from over here? Let's find out. Because normally there would be one or two people. I'm seeing this thing. Yeah, it's working. Boom. All right. So, hi. Hi, Stacy. All right, I just wanted to make sure it was working. Because it gave me some silly thing that was like, hey, we can't connect. And then, yeah. Anyway, yes, you are here. Thank you. Someone is here. I appreciate it. I had this realization yesterday that I am a little more than a content farm. That's all I do is content. And it's true. It's books. It's First Cup. It's martial arts radio. It's Who'd Win. It's martial arts radio live. It's this other thing I'm working on. When did I become a content creator? That wasn't supposed to be me. I don't know who else it's going to be. The book. The book. Yeah. So I should be getting edits back from everyone tonight, tomorrow morning. I think 4 people have it. Everyone promised it to me. As long as I get 2 of those people back, we should be good. Because I think we could go live with it as is right now, but I just want to have more people look at it. You know, this is a first edition. There are going to be mistakes. There are going to be issues. I'm likely going to have someone design a neat cover for it. We'll do a collector's edition cover that'll be available for a limited period of time. And then I'm expecting, we'll do the first edition cover after that period of time. And then probably update the book every year. Because there's new stuff. I mean, with roughly 100 new episodes of martial arts radio coming out every year, that's a lot of new ideas and thoughts. And I want to make sure that we're doing a good job keeping this book as something that is thought-provoking and not a reference book in the traditional sense, but something that people could say, I'm. What does Jeremy think about this subject? Right? And they could turn to the book. Yesterday was another productive day. I really think that shifting my breakfast routine and making breakfast, things I'm putting in my coffee and leaving it at that, I think that's making a big difference, which I would not have expected. I don't remember that last time I was doing this for breakfast that it was this impactful, but I guess it's working. I guess it is. What's going on today? I got snow below the driveway. I don't want to. I don't like doing it, but I have to. Hopefully today's not too cold. I'll do that this morning. I have a meeting, signed a new client yesterday, so yay. Stacy says, work it while it works. Yeah, it's a great point. And what else am I doing? Bunch of little things, some podcasts. I was going to, and I think I'm going to put it off another week. I was going to record an episode for the book. But being that the book is not done, the cover is not done. There are a lot of little things that I wanted to get done, and we don't need it for next week. See, originally I was planning that we'd do an episode that would correlate roughly with the launch of the book, and I don't think that we're going to get there, and that's okay, because there's enough interest in the book that I'd rather put out an episode that makes more sense for posterity. That if someone bumps into it 2 years from now, it's not about the launch of the book, but the book, and the existence of the book, and something more or less timeless. So, all right, let's dig into these questions. Remember, you want to ask one, drop it below. I like answering them. Oh, and in case if you're watching this live, your name is Stacy. If you're watching this later, you may not know. Last night we premiered the Martial Arts Radio Live episode from Tuesday night. Got it uploaded yesterday, and that went live, so you can check that out. Boom. All right, let's get these questions going. In the last episode, to paraphrase, you said you have a purpose that doesn't depend on people. Is that really possible given the interdependent world we live in today? I'll be honest, I don't remember what I was talking about. Let's see if I can dig back into that yesterday. Purpose. I think what I was talking about was the idea that whistlekick's purpose and my ability to move it forward doesn't require is not I want to choose my words carefully because I don't want to offend anyone. I have some wonderful, wonderful people who help with Whistlekick. Stacy, you're wonderful. Dozens of people, honestly. I mentioned that people are editing this book. Those people are doing that for free. Hey, I need some help editing this 50,000 word monster. And more people raised their hand than I needed. So I've got a lot of help. And Whistlekick is more impactful because of that help. But if tomorrow every one of those people said, Jeremy, we're not willing to help you anymore, it would not change the fact that my mission remains and Whistlekick remains. And would it be as productive? No. Would we be able to move the needle as much? No. But I wouldn't stop. I started this company by myself. I will continue it whether or not I am by myself. And that is what I was trying to drive at. But I may not have done a good job saying it because it was 6:30 in the morning. And before I had finished a full cup of coffee. So there's that answer. What do you use for sore muscles? Movement. So here's an interesting thing. We, science-wise, do not still fully understand the concept and what causes delayed onset muscle soreness. Okay, DOMS. DOMS is that thing where you wake up like 36 to 48 hours after you had a really hard workout and you're like, wait a second, why do I hurt so much? The next morning you might be a little sore, but it gets worse through the day and the next day. That's DOMS. That's delayed onset muscle soreness. Some people will say that it is from lactic acid pooling in your muscles, and no, that's not it. We have been able to debunk that scientifically, but we still don't fully understand what it is and why that delay is created, at least based on the latest research I have seen. So what have I found that is most effective? It's movement. We've talked about this before on the show. I talk about this often when I'm teaching, whatever I'm teaching. Your muscles have blood to move nutrient in and out. Your joints, your other tissues do not. They have the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system requires movement in order to work. So if you spend all of your time sitting down or have little movement, you are not moving that waste product out and the good fluid in, and you need to. So that's where movement and not necessarily exercise is really beneficial. This is why people who get a good number of steps in through the day tend to be healthier. It's not just because of the calories they burn. It's not. Movement is really powerful. Movement is medicine. Walking is medicine. If you can get, the average person is something like 5,000 steps, which works out to about 2.5 miles. If you can get to 20,000 steps, that's roughly 10 miles of movement a day. Some pretty interesting things start to happen. So if you are someone who does not move as much as you should, get a cheap fitness band. I've got one. I don't have it on right now. And from wearing that, I developed the habit of, you know what? I'm not doing as much today. I'm not moving as much as I would like to. I'm going to go to the gym and simply walk on the treadmill. I don't run. I just walk. Sometimes I'll walk outside, but just to walk. If I'm sore, that's the first thing that I prescribe for myself, is to walk. That movement's really helpful. Now, let's say you got something that's really, really agonizing, and you're really looking for some pain relief beyond, taking ibuprofen or something. I would suggest something that has, more on the natural side of the ingredients, something like, I don't see it everywhere, and I haven't seen it as much lately, but there are products that are capsaicin, hot pepper based, and I found those to be really effective at relaxing the muscles, but more so opening tissues up and bringing blood and other fluid in. Well, if it's muscle, it's blood. But, you gotta be careful if you use that stuff. You probably want to wear gloves, because I've made the mistake of touching my eyeball after, and it just sucks. And don't wear it in the shower, because you will hate your life. I haven't used these things in so long that I'm trying to remember. Yeah, we talked yesterday a little bit about heat. There are circumstances where I can see using heat, but most of the time now I just try to move, and I've gotten a lot better at not going overboard, not pushing it too far. I have known several people who, when rushed in the morning, skip breakfast. Instead, they take an energy shot. Is this a healthy substitute for breakfast? Probably not. So if you're talking about an energy shot, probably talking like a 5-hour energy, one of those deals. And if you're going to have any kind of an energy drink, and it's not about the volume but the effect, 5-hour energy is probably the best choice. Coffee doesn't have any calories. 5-hour energy barely has any. But what it does have is some B vitamins, and it's designed that you're to eat after. Kind of revs up your metabolism and gets it ready for food. And if you eat shortly after, and it even says that on the packaging, you get the best benefit. Good morning, Daniel. I was late too. It's fine. No worries. Everything's a spectrum, right? I wouldn't call an energy shot a healthy breakfast. I wouldn't call a cup of coffee a healthy breakfast. And I don't think you should look at breakfast in isolation. You got to look at it. You got to look at all of your food through the day, through the week, as part of a system. If skipping breakfast for you works, and you're getting enough food the rest of the day, and that's working for you, and you're not, and you're your metabolism's doing okay, and you have the energy for what you want to do, and you're not too lean or too heavy. If it, if calorically it's working for you, then it's fine. But a lot of people who don't eat breakfast end up binging at lunch and eating poor choices that would be better served having some kind of a breakfast. I have time to make breakfast. I could make breakfast. Up until, what was it, this week, I was spending roughly an hour making breakfast every morning, just kind of taking my time and hanging out in the kitchen, cleaning the kitchen, doing the dishes, making breakfast. Got a TV in there, watching a little bit of TV while I did. It was nice. But that's not what I'm doing right now. So I think if someone is rushed in the morning and they feel like they should be eating more of a breakfast with food and everything, I think there are a lot of ways around that. You can prepare food ahead of time. The easiest breakfast I think you could eat, absolute easiest thing in the world. Get some simple, 1 minute oatmeal. Put it in a container. Put the dry oatmeal in. Put some water in it, whatever it says on the package. I find you need to use a little bit less. Put in like some raisins or some cinnamon. Put it in the fridge overnight. And when you wake up in the morning, you have oatmeal. That takes you like 2 minutes. You don't have to cook it. You don't have to wait for it to cool off. You can just grab it. You can eat it, take it with you. I eat a lot of meals in the car. A lot of meals in the car. That's why my seats are usually dirty, because there's usually food crumbs in them. It's an efficient time to eat. Having granola bars or something like that, meal replacement bars. To say you don't have time to eat is silly. Gabe says he eats a jar of granola as he drives to work. Yeah. We all have time to eat. If you don't have 2 minutes to deal with overnight oatmeal, wake up 5 minutes earlier. That 5 minutes of sleep is not going to change anything. But what I find is it becomes a priority thing. People become so focused on these other things that they don't take care of themselves, whether that be through food, nutrition, movement, doing things for themselves, etc. And it's not sustainable. You will burn out. You will be sick more often. You will have lower quality relationships. Your work will not be as good. So if you have to do that periodically for a short-term push, yeah, I get it. But if it's chronic, if that's what you're doing all the time, it's time to make some changes. No, I'm not saying that to come down hard on anybody. You know what these are? These are pants, uniform pant samples from the Luminary, the wraparound gi style uniform that we did. Adjusting the length, the gusset in the pants to hopefully get that better. And at least the one in my size is great. So I gotta get people to try on the other ones. And once we are sure of that, I'll order more of those. Boom. All right. Let's wind down. So, subscribe, notifications every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, YouTube, catch it later, podcast feed, firstcupofjeremy.com. You can get your first cup mug at whistlekick.com. And you can use the same mug I use, as if I'm a celebrity. If you want to ask a question, drop it below. I appreciate all of you who tune in live. I appreciate those of you who watch later, listen later, submit questions. Shout out and thank you to Frank for all of his help behind the scenes and making sure I have questions to answer each day. Now, Homework. Be aware of how much you move. If you have a desk job, if you get up and go to the bathroom, if you have choices, go to one that's a little bit further away. Get a few more steps in. It'll clear your head. Good for your body. A lot of great reasons. If you're someone who's typically quite active, awesome. You have no homework today. Other than to be aware of it. Just be aware of your movement. Try to get a little bit more. See how you feel. If you don't have a cheap fitness band that'll track your steps, if you don't have something that will track your steps, figure out something that will track your steps. You probably have a smartphone. Most smartphones will do that. I think they all will. I'm sure there's an app that you can get for anything. Just figure out how much you're moving. If it's not at least 5,000, move it up. My goal personally, when I was tracking, was at least 10,000 a day. That's where I started to feel better. On the days I got 15, 16, 20, I felt great. I really did feel a lot better. Something to consider. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to have a great day. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for Friday. Take care. Peace.